Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And good morning to you, my dear friends. It is Monday, and it's such a beautiful day on the outside. I truly hope that you're having a grand day, because I am. Why? Because it's a brand new week, and you've stepped into the hottest spot in town. That is Sunshine's Corner. Always remember, I want you to be a part of this show. You are certainly invited to be a part of it. Now, you can call us up at 850-432-7768. Make your comments, have questions for my guests. You can talk, you can be a part. If there's something I have not talked about, then allow me to do that for you. You know, every single day we reach out with something positive, and today it is no different. I met this young lady about 3 years ago. I was having a back to school event, and she came in and she was just phenomenal with the kids. And when you find out why I say she's so phenomenal, she has such a story and all the things that she does and the beauty that she is. And I want to say, I'm going to give you her first name, Delarice. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me today.
No, thank you for getting up. I mean, you know, I know how it is getting up early in the morning. But you know what? It's early. But thank you so much for just taking the time to come in and share with everybody. I mean, because you've got so much talent. You've got so many things that you do. It's absolutely phenomenal. And what I want the young ladies to see, because now, I know kids are in school, the young ladies, some of them may be at work, but yet and still, I want them to see and hear your story about the things that you do and how what you're doing to get what you've done, right? And that anything is possible, that they can do the same thing as well. And I want to say this too, you've got an identical twin.
Yes, I have an identical twin sister. We look so much alike to the point where if you see her, you'll think it was me.
I tell you, because I saw the two of you. You guys were on Steve Harvey.
Yes, we were. We were on Steve Harvey for a twin segment, as well as when we got engaged 10 days apart.
Are you serious?
Yes, we got engaged 10 days apart, and it made national news everywhere, and we ended up on the Steve Harvey show talking about our double weddings.
Oh, wow. Because he had, I think his twins were on the day that you guys were on?
Yes.
Because I didn't know Steve had twins.
Yes, he has identical twins as well. They look just alike, just like my sister and I.
Look, do you all have fun like this sometime when you're together? Nobody can tell you apart. And I mean, it just got to be.
Oh, yes. We played so many tricks growing up in school. We switched classes. We liked the same guys. I mean, we did it all until we matured and decided, okay, enough of the twin games. Let's just be mature adults. But we love being twins, and we're best friends.
Absolutely. And you know what? I was looking last night. I said, what is it that I can ask her? Because, I mean, when I talk to you, I think your journey is so beautiful, and I love what you've accomplished and yet accomplishing. But I was thinking, I said, what is it that inspired you, number one, to be so diverse with so many different roles that you do? What is it that, you know, how can I say this, being a mom, with all the other diversity that you're with, what is it that inspired you to do that?
I think I'm a person that does wear a lot of hats.
Right.
And I think falling in love with so many different things growing up, watching my mom be a mother, be in ministry, be a boutique owner, have her own clothing line and also a boutique. I just thought to myself, if my mom can do all these things, I must be able to do all these things as well. And I never wanted to be a person that years later looked back and said, I wish I would have pursued this or that. A lot of people, unfortunately, their story is I became a mom or I got married and I stopped pursuing my dreams. I didn't want that to be my story, so I found a healthy way to balance being a mom, entrepreneur, and pageant girl, of course.
Of course. I love it. We could tell that, okay? I mean, with that, an actress?
Yes. Yes, I do act. I model. I also mentor young women who want to be models and want to be actresses. I think it's very important when you've reached a certain level of success in your life that you also help other people that are coming up. And someone helped me. Someone reached out their hand and gave me an open door of opportunity. So I will always want to pay it forward.
Right, wonderful. With the being a pageant, I mean, that looks like a lot of work because I've seen it on TV. Is that a lot of work?
Being a pageant girl is a lot of work. It's not what people think in regards to it just being about being beautiful.
Right.
You do have to have talent. You do have to have some type of story or platform that you're affiliated with. My platform is about my brother, who I lost, unfortunately. 15 years ago, my brother was struck and killed by a driver that was texting and driving. And since then, my mom, twin sister, and I founded the Aaron Haley Foundation, where we raise awareness to all the dangers of texting while driving.
Oh, wow. So there's a foundation as well.
Yes, and we've also been able to partner with our state representatives, Emily Toledo and Jennifer Slousberg, and we've actually made progress in the state of Florida by helping House Bill 107 pass in the state of Florida. So pageantry is a lot more than people think. We took that platform and we promoted our foundation all over the world as Mrs. Florida, as Mrs. Fort Lauderdale, as Mrs. North Florida. I've been able to grace so many national stages that has allowed me to share my brother's story worldwide.
That has got, it takes a lot of strength to do that.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it's got to, and my heart goes out to you, but I want to applaud you as well.
Thank you.
For taking that step to have that, especially because even now sometimes you see people texting and driving, it's like their heads are down, they're looking up, but it's so...
It's a lot. Honestly, I didn't think about the severity of texting while driving until it hit my front door. When it hit my front door, I was then just burdened with this responsibility to educate other people about how dangerous it is.
Right.
That, hey, you could take someone's life. It's not that serious. Wait until you are at a complete stop, send that message. The message that was sent when my brother was killed was, I think I hit something. The person didn't even know they hit a person.
No.
18 years old, and I'm sure he's still living with this as well. He was a child.
Oh, the child that hit him was 18?
Was 18 years old. Yep.
Oh my God.
It's the #1 cause of death, teenage deaths in the United States. Believe it or not, a lot of teenagers text and drive. It happens with adults, but it's something that children do. They get behind the wheel, they're new to driving, and they're just
they
hot
think
rods.
They can handle it.
Right, and you really can't. You should be just focusing on the road. But so, unfortunately, this is our story. It hasn't been easy, but we've definitely been able to be a blessing to other people along the journey.
I commend you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Now, look, I'm listening to you talk now. How is it being a mom that you can balance all of this?
I have boundaries.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, the best way to create a healthy balance is just set boundaries and stick with them. My evenings are for my family. They're for my daughter. My Monday afternoons are for my daughter. My Tuesday afternoons are for my daughter. The weekends are for my family, my husband, my daughter, and I. We just choose little things to do, whether it's going and just grabbing ice cream or going to the park. We just create memories together. We're intentional in regards to creating memories every weekend.
Oh, wow. But you've got it set. That's a great thing because I had another lady on and she was talking to me about setting boundaries because people will push you.
Yeah.
If you allow them, they will push you and forget all about your boundary because they want you to fit into theirs.
Absolutely.
And you have to be strong enough to say, no, this is not that because your daughter and your husband.
Right.
And I mean,
And she's 3, so she's very much a mommy needy girl at the moment where she always wants to be with me. She always wants to be sitting on the side of me, or she wants me to hold her. So I make sure that, I asked for this child, I prayed, and God gave me this child, that I am dedicated to also being a mom and being a wife.
Absolutely. Do you want any more children?
I do want more children. I do. So we'll see what happens. My husband's been ready 3 years ago, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Let her at least turn 3 or 4. And he's like, okay, are you ready now? And I'm like,
He's ready.
He's been ready.
Does he want a girl or boy? It doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter. He loves being a girl dad, and he says he wouldn't mind being another girl dad. So he doesn't care if he has another girl.
Really?
Yes.
How
My
beautiful.
father-in-law wants a grandson.
I can imagine.
Right. Mom wants a grandson. My mom wants me to have a son, but
Really?
my husband doesn't care.
Oh, how beautiful. How is it that, what was one of the most, I'll say the most transformative things that, the experiences you had that shaped you to where you are today? What is it that took that transformation to get you there?
I think it's a combination of growing up in not the best home setting, in the best neighborhood. remember being very young and noticing that I wasn't living in the greatest of neighborhoods.
Understand.
And having my mom remind me daily that, hey, this is where we're starting. This is not where we have to end. And my mom had a lot of goals, and I watched her accomplish those goals. My mom used to have this thing every Saturday morning. She would drive us into this beautiful neighborhood.
Really?
And she would say, look at the houses. Pick out the houses. And we would go in and we would talk to people like we were getting houses, and they would allow us to walk in, and my mom would say, look in the rooms and claim them. One day we're going to live here. My mom one day moved into that very neighborhood, bought one of the biggest houses in that neighborhood, and seeing that made me realize very young that if I set my mind to something, no matter how big it looked, I could accomplish it. And so I think about that many days when I'm faced with obstacles. I remember driving around those neighborhoods, and my mom lives in that very neighborhood now, you know? So it definitely set the bar high for me, and it made me have a determination early to want better, to work harder, so that I didn't have to have the same struggle. I felt like she worked so hard to get me out of it. I'm not going to put myself back in a struggle by not being focused on my now goals. And I think that is something I think about anytime life gets hard for me. I remember even struggling with fertility, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that. But I had a really bad struggle with fertility where they had diagnosed me with something called reoccurrent miscarriage. Why they don't understand why you're miscarrying. You're just miscarrying over and over and over again. They can't tell you why. They can't pinpoint it. And I just kept thinking about driving in those neighborhoods and how one day we walked into a beautiful home that was ours, and I kept telling myself, one day you're going to have a child. One day you're going to have, and I just kept going. Even though it was hard, I was afraid that I would fail again. But you know, now I have my daughter, and every time I have hard moments, I go back to that moment of riding around in the car and seeing that we accomplished it. So we just need to keep going, Delarice, is what I tell myself anytime something is challenging for me.
I love that name, Delarice. You remember the great big star? I mean, you know, she's a legend. She passed away. Yes. Oh, did she really? Yeah. Okay, Delarice.
My grandmother named me, and my uncle gave me Laverne. So I had all sitcom names.
Okay, Delarice Laverne. Yes. How cute. The show Laverne and Shirley.
My uncle gave me Laverne.
But you know, when you think about the things, I hear what you're saying, what your mother planted in you. And now you are going to be planting that into your daughter. And then, you know, to keep that legacy going. And when you see young girls, because you remember the day you walked into the gym, how they were just, and you had on your sash and everything that day. I mean, inspire some girls today who would like to be some. I mean, they can do it too.
Well, little girls, if you're watching, I want you to know that you can accomplish those goals that seem further than life, that seem like they're not obtainable for your area. Right. Because everyone doesn't have the opportunity to live in the big fancy neighborhood right away.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that you can't live there one day.
That's right.
Any goal that you want to accomplish, whether it's being the next Miss America, being Mrs. World, Mrs. Universe, or the next Halle Berry.
Come on.
The next Angelina Jolie. You can accomplish those goals if you stay focused, if you're dedicated, and if you don't allow distractions to make you bend.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, we've got Delarice, and your last name?
Tarani.
I wouldn't mess it up. But we've got Delarice right here with us today. She's telling us a beautiful story of her journey, and it can inspire any and everybody who watch it. You stay close. We're going to be back with more on this journey right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
I vote because my mother voted. She was 40 years old, and I was 20 when she first voted. She said, Mamie Lee, take me to the registration office or wherever I need to go so that I can register to vote. So I vote for that reason, and I want everybody else to vote. Don't just talk, you gotta walk it like you talk it, and when you walk it, you are voting. So vote. I'm Mamie Webb Hickson, Director of the Writing Lab at the University of West Florida. Just vote.
Animal Allies is looking for volunteers, and there are many ways that you can help. From taking care of cats to using your computer and social media skills, any and all assistance is greatly appreciated. We have morning and afternoon shifts every day or help at adoption events. You can even foster a kitty at home. And it counts towards community service hours for bright futures. Find Animal Allies Florida on Facebook and Instagram or go to aaflorida.org/volunteer.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. It is a beautiful Monday. I don't know about you, but when I got up this morning and felt that air, it was so nice on the outside. It was so cool on the outside. And but listen, we're talking with Delarice, and she's got such a beautiful story today. She's telling and sharing it with us. And we were talking about just inspiring young girls with, because, you know, with what you've accomplished with TV, with modeling, for pageantry and all of that, right? You don't, some about girls of color, we want to inspire them. So talk to them. I mean, when you went through with that, you know, and looked at the success that you've had and that you're yet having. I mean, it's not impossible. That's what I want them to understand.
It's definitely not impossible, ladies. I know for a fact that growing up, I had moments where I didn't feel like I could accomplish it because I did not see women of color.
That's right.
I didn't see women like me.
That's right.
Modeling, I didn't see women like me.
That's right.
Doing pageantry, and I decided that I was going to change that.
That's right.
I wanted girls to grow up and see women of color.
That's
see
right.
a woman of color. Being Mrs. Florida, being
That's right.
Mrs. North Florida, competing in pageants, doing modeling, and having a family.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, one of the biggest misconceptions of being successful as a woman is that you cannot have a family.
Yes, you can.
But you can have a family and you can be successful in a career.
Absolutely.
So young girls, if you're watching, you can do whatever it is you desire to do and still have a family.
No doubt about it. And listen, everybody, if you don't get the chance to watch it today, listen at this, Delarice. We're going to play this show back again this afternoon so they can see it, so the ones that are at work can share this experience.
Awesome.
What you're sharing with your experiences with everybody today. With your being on Steve Harvey Show, now everybody knows Steve Harvey and the Cake Hunters, right?
Yes.
What is it, and how did these experiences impact your journey, your career?
Being on the TV show both TV shows actually had a huge impact on my career. I did get several other phone calls, other opportunities to be on other shows. Once I, had that opportunity of being on that show, the Steve Harvey Show,
right,
it opened huge doors for me, and a lot of the things that I was trying to do, I was all of a sudden able to do easily.
Absolutely.
And I mean, all I can say is that I thank God for that opportunity. You never know when or how you receive certain opportunities.
That's right.
And all you can do is make the best of it and just push yourself as far as you can go when you do see those doors opening for success.
That's right, and you took that,
yes,
and you grabbed, and you're going on.
I grabbed.
Because Steve Harvey. Come on, everybody knows Steve Harvey.
He's hilarious. Yes, everyone knows Steve, and he is hilarious. I mean, we were on the show twice. A lot of people don't realize that, but we were actually on twice. We were on when we got engaged, and then we were invited back when he did the twinning show, and that's where you saw us with his girls. So there were actually two different shows, and then they did a follow-up about us because they just enjoyed our personality so much. And one thing I always keep in mind when I receive opportunities is the fact that your talent will get you in the door, but it's your personality that will keep you in those doors. My grandmother would always say that. So anytime I receive an opportunity, I make sure that they see that I'm not only talented, but I have a good personality.
Absolutely.
I have a good spirit, so that I'm receiving more opportunities. Because people are always like, oh my God, how many times were you girls on? 3 times. And
That's
they're like,
right.
wow. So,
but that's that personality that pulls it back. And I agree with that, because if you have that standoffish personality or that personality,
that snobby, snooty personality, people will probably have you on once, and then they'll say, "Oh, don't bring them back." Right? Don't bring that person back. They're not easy to deal with. We hear those stories all the time in Hollywood, where people are talented, but no one wants to work with them. No one wants to deal with them, so they're never invited back. I never want to be that person where I'm somewhere and people say, "Don't invite her back."
Absolutely, because I tell you, well, look at this. Just look at this. When I met you, almost 3 years ago. And I said, no, I've got to find her. I said, now I have her number. She gave it to me. I said, but I don't want to just impress on her phone first. Let me go through social media first. And because we exchanged numbers that day.
We did. Yes, we did.
And we had planned to do things, and but it wasn't supposed to be then.
It wasn't a time, probably, yes.
That's right. It was supposed to be at this time. You know, with you being, you're a CEO.
Yes.
What do you believe is the key to being successful? You're running a business while maintaining your other personals and your professional commitments. I mean, what's the key if a person with all those hats, and we haven't touched all of them yet. She's got some other things that she does as well. How is it that how do you put all that together? But what is it that you attribute to that success?
Well, one of the things I would attribute to my success is I run my business like I'm trying to succeed for the very first time every day. I've never let up.
Okay.
I never adapt to that I arrived mentality that some people obtain over the years when they've reached a certain level of success. I still move like I'm hungry for the first opportunity. And I find that has really benefited me as a business owner and as a wife, a mom. I still have that same hunger and that same desire, that same passion, that same fire, that same zeal to reach new levels in my business, in my marriage, as a mom. I think people let their fire go out, and that's why we stay at certain levels or we even become stagnant, as a lot of business owners reach that stagnant season. For me, I have a goal to always be better, higher, do more than I did the past year. And so staying dedicated, staying driven, and keeping that zeal. It isn't easy, but that's how I maintain success. I continue the same passion with the same desire to succeed, no matter what.
I got you. Now, with your husband, it has to be, I think, in a relationship with you, with your status, your husband is a great supporter.
Yes.
And so that's utterly important, right?
It is.
It's because, I mean, I was going through the pictures where I could see the two, even on your wedding day, I saw those pictures. I saw the pictures, just the look and how you walked in like a princess. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, that gown, man, oh God, that gown was absolutely.
It was made in the Bahamas.
Really? It was absolutely beautiful. But with your husband standing by you, let everybody know that it does not mean that because he does another type and you're in this, it's important to have that spouse to be right there to continue to push you forward. How important is that?
It's very important to have a supportive spouse. Even if your husband has absolutely no idea what you're doing and how you do what you do, because he doesn't. He sometimes, I don't know what you're doing, just write it on the calendar so I can follow it, I can show up, I can do what I need to do. And one of the things that he does that I love, and I've always loved from our first initial conversations and dating, I made sure that I chose a husband that loved me for who I was and all of what I was doing.
Right.
And I think a lot of times we miss that, and so we don't pick husbands that will be able to carry us because they already don't like what we're doing, but we're engaging anyway. My husband loved me, who I was. And even I recently did a conference and he didn't speak, he didn't do anything at it, but he paid for the overhead. He booked the DJ. I mean, he handled this conference like it was his conference, and then he sat in the back with my daughter and kept her the entire. I tried to bring him up to give him a formal thank you, and he's like, No, I don't need. He's very much laid back and just confident in who he is.
Absolutely, that's
so
great.
He never needs to be in the spotlight of shining. Where he's always like, no, don't call me up. You can just thank me on Facebook or something like that. So picking a supportive spouse is key.
I mean, that's got to be great because, I mean, with your journey, I mean, you mentor.
Yes.
You coach people. That's where I wanted to go next, okay? About that, tell us about the coaching. What is it? It's another one here. I can't wait to ask you about that one.
Okay.
But about the coaching, you're talking about people who need coaching in marriage,
Yes.
dating.
Yes.
All of that?
I am a counselor by profession.
Okay.
And I'm a certified life coach as well. In my years of counseling, I started to feel like people would come on my couch, they would kind of cry about what they were going through, and then there wasn't a what's next. Life coaching gave my clients the what's next. It gave them the strategic tools to come out of situations and succeed in life.
Okay.
So that's why eventually I became a life coach as well. So I offer the two, not just therapy alone, but coaching as well, so that people aren't continuing to cry over the same thing. I'm going to give you an opportunity to cry, to feel what you need to feel, because we need to feel, we need to express, we need to release. But then there's a point where we need to get up and we need to decide we're no longer going to be the victim, we're going to be the victor. So
that's my word.
With that, I started the coaching. And so I coach people in marriages. I coach people that are single trying to shift into the season of wifehood or husbandhood, because I coach male and women clients. And then I also coach people in business. As a successful business owner of 20 years,
Right.
I do offer business and pageant coaching.
Goodness, I bet that's fun. Okay, when you say you coach the men as well, okay, wow. Is your clientele more women?
Yes, I have more women clients. A lot of my male clients are their husbands that over the years, they hear coaching in the background. They're like, oh my God, I think I want to talk to this lady.
Right.
Who is she? She's helping you in such a wonderful way. Do you think she can help me? And so I'm like, of course, come on down. And so I end up coaching a lot of my female clients, husbands or boyfriends or fiancés. And I do get some men that come in on their own, but a lot of my male clients are married to one of my female clients.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, the younger girls, with your being a mentor, and do you got a lot of the younger girls that you can talk to and mentor when they're trying to go this way, when you can coach them and bring them back and let them go the right way?
Yes, and I call the group that are younger, I call them the baby committee. They always in trouble, always active, because at that age, you really are lost. You really are confused in regards to your life. You're trying to figure out who you want to be, and that isn't easy. I remember being young. It wasn't easy for me.
Wait a minute, did you hear that, guys?
Younger.
She remember being young.
Well, I remember being younger.
Okay.
At 18, I'm not 18 anymore. I remember 18, that tender age. I just wanted to have a good time. I wasn't really focused on life the way I am now at this older age. And a lot of those 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, they're just boy crazy.
Right.
So
that's where I wanted to go.
Yeah. They're boy crazy. So it's hard sometimes redirecting them towards their goals and college and career.
Yes.
When they're just, oh my God, I'm in love with him. Baby, you probably won't marry him. You're 14.
That's right.
But at 14, you really do think you're going to marry your first love.
That's right.
Some people grow up and they're blessed to marry their first love. But a few of us have to kiss 3, 4, 5 frogs before we kiss Prince Charming. So I always, I'm on top of them with that. Like, hey, I'm not saying not to love, not to explore relationships, but you can't get so fixated on having a boyfriend at 15
that you look over everything.
That you don't focus on college. This is an opportunity to get a scholarship.
That's right.
But if we're boy crazy, we have no time to succeed and to over excel in our school.
That's right.
So we may not get a scholarship.
Because I'm in love with John.
Because I'm too busy being in love with John.
Exactly.
Then I may not marry.
That's right. Who was that I heard? I was watching, I heard they would say, Sister Noah Love, you won't even remember. No, this was Judge Judy said, no, you won't even remember his name. I'll give you a year, you won't remember his name.
And it's true. You know, I never thought I would forget the names of people I dated in school. I'm like, listen, no,
but
I will never forget. I don't remember those people.
Exactly.
I'll see them and hey, you remember me? I'm like, no, who are you? I'm so-and-so. I'm like,
really? What happened? Exactly.
Confused, just shocked. And then it comes back to me. I'm like, oh, I remember when my mom said I would forget your name. It happened.
And it happened. I tell you, we're having such a wonderful conversation with Della Reese today. And we're talking about her journey and all the things that she has been blessed to be able to share with you. So what I want you to do is sit still. We're not done yet. We've got a lot more to cover. And I just can't say thank you enough for her getting up early and joining in today right here on Sunshine's Corner. Stay close. We'll be back with more.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
I am going to vote. I vote because I want my voice heard. For many years, people like me were silenced. Women were silenced. So I vote to make sure that my voice will be heard. I'm Dr. Yvonne Capehart, and I encourage you to just vote.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Watch a new episode of Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m. Hosted by Sergeant Melanie Peterson and David Craig. Your tips may be eligible for a cash reward, featuring items about officer training, various aspects of police work, and crime prevention information. You'll hear about upcoming family-friendly engagement events as well. Don't miss Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives every Friday at 6 p.m.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town, the Monday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We're having a great conversation, and not searching to hope that you're having a great day. My intentions were to say this when I first came on this morning because it is so behooving. I can't believe how things are happening. There are two things I wanted to mention. Number one, you know Tito Jackson of the Jackson 5. He passed away this morning. Or should I say, well, early morning. He was 70 years old. I'm not sure, but they said it was a heart attack. But I said, oh my God. Last week it was Frankie Beverly, James Earl Jones, then the other the two rappers, and then there was somebody else. I can't think of all of their names, but it's been in these last 2 weeks, that has been quite a bit of our stars that have transitioned. But let's talk about something even more personal and more happy today. Today is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to you, love. Enjoy your day with a great big kiss. Well, now let's go back to Miss Della Reese, and we're going to talk about some more things that we've been talking about, because your career is absolutely a lot. We just found out that you're a counselor.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the fact, and I heard you mention this in the beginning of your conversation, we kind of touched it when you were talking about your mom and how she had taught you to be the faithfulness and all the, the holding on and the prayers and all of that, right?
Right.
So therefore, I know you were rooted and grounded in prayer.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I see here, do I see prophet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, I It's not something I push on people.
Right.
But I've been born and raised in ministry. My family, my mom is a pastor. My uncle is a pastor. My grandmother was a pastor. My great-grandmother was a pastor. So I come from a family of ministry. My twin sister and her husband pastor in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I actually was commissioned to the office of prophet 4 years now I'm celebrating in November. But I've had the noonday prayer with Prophetess Delarice for 11 years this November, ministry. Where where I do prayer online, or I do prayer on Facebook Live, or I do it on the prayer line. I have a prayer line as well.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for 11 years. So I think that's the thing I'm most proud of, my prayer ministry, because it really does keep me grounded.
Absolutely.
And it really does have a lot to do with why I'm successful. I always tell people, a person with a constant prayer life, when prayer is a lifestyle, blessings will become a reality for you. So I really do feel like it's my constant walk with God and my labor and prayer for others that has opened all these beautiful doors for me. I really do believe that is why I live the life that I live, because I dedicated my life to praying for others. It's been 11 years now that I've been praying for others on Monday and Friday. I started 5 days a week at first, at 12 noon every Friday. For 4 years straight, I did Monday through Friday. Then I gradually went down to 3 times a week, 2 times a week, and now I do Fridays.
Really?
Every Friday.
Unbelievable. But you know what? That's a great thing, because I say this often, prayer is the key.
It is.
And to have that relationship with the Father,
yes, ma'am,
and not leave him out of anything that we do is a key to all of our successes. And to hear that, and you know, you hear people who, stepped into Hollywood and the things, the pageantry, who've won all of these great big things like you have. Sometimes we step out and forget where we come from. But you didn't. And how important is that? You hit that. But when it comes to your ministry, with the fact with your prayer life, with the fact that when you're teaching these young girls, even with some adults, need a little teaching in that area, because they somewhat tend to fall away from that.
And I think that's why my ministry, my ministry, the mentorship, it's the Proverbs 31 Wife Mentorship Ministry. That's what it is. And I
Proverbs 31?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, I know.
And I think that's why it is as successful as it is, because a lot of believers are looking for someone who is really grounded in ministry for real, but also walking into entrepreneurship venture, doing modeling. And it's not something that we embraced years back. When I first started, a lot of people didn't think I should be modeling as a Christian person, but I knew God was calling me for something bigger. And so I wasn't afraid. I took the criticism, and those persons now even decided to apologize and say, hey, you were right. You are doing both still. Still ministering. You're still wearing the hat of the prophet. And I really, my ministry is very, very dear to me. Of course, I don't force ministry on people.
Of course not. He said don't do it.
Yeah, because if you're loving the way you should, people are going to want to know the God you serve.
Amen.
They're going to want to know about him. So
Amen.
I never have to force God on people. They always just want to know, well, how are you so kind? And I'm like, God is love. So I have to be a person that loves and is genuine and like, oh my goodness, well, I need to know about this God that you're serving.
That's
I have clients all over the world. I have people in South Africa, Nigeria, the UK, Bahamas, Jamaica, Canada. Like, my mentorship is global. And I'm just grateful I never thought it would be global. I knew God wanted to do something with it, but I didn't know that's right. I'm right now teaching the class, believe it or not, the Proverbs 31 Wife class. It's a 6 weeks course, and I'm teaching it. I'm on week 3, and I have 150 women from all over the world in this class, but I actually mentor 1,500 women all over the world.
Unbelievable. Well, he said that he will give you above and beyond what you can even think or ask.
He did.
And with the fact that you're holding on to your faith, I commend you there, because without that, oh my God, we can easily get distracted, and I believe that's why you are successful. And I tell a lot of people, he said that he'd give us the desires of our hearts.
He did.
But we got to hold on to it and keep it in first. Don't let him give it, then forget where you get it from.
Exactly.
You know? And I think that's great also with the fact that you do that with your ministry, and then you've got 1,500 girls,
yes,
you say?
ma'am.
That's with your global all over the world. Oh,
it's
wow.
funny because when I started my ministry, it was the mentorship. I always had the ministry, but when I started doing the personal mentorship, it was right before COVID started. It was like 5 years ago. And I remember God speaking to me and saying, I want you to start an online ministry. And I said, God, well, why not teach this class in person? And God said, no, I want you to teach it online. And my girlfriend laughed at me and said, why would you do an online ministry? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Meet the people in person. But I listened to God always.
Always.
That prophet, you got to listen to God. So I said, I trust the prophetic mantle on my life. I'm going to listen to God. I did it anyway. Year later, COVID hit.
Oh, boy.
And here I was still booming.
I get it now.
Right. That was still booming, and everybody's ministries and doors were closing, and mine was just like.
He was preparing you then.
He was.
Because everybody was then
and
turning
I could not believe it. And the funny thing is, with the way social media works now we can backtrack what we say. And I remember sharing that, that God wants me to do it online. I don't know why, but God said online, and I'm going to listen to him.
Right.
And I was able to go back and look at that and say, okay, God, now I know why COVID was coming and we were shutting down.
That's right, because he was.
But I never shut down.
You never did, because he was preparing you for that then.
And then he reminded me, he said, this is why I told you that. While everyone is shutting down, you're still going.
He's opening up.
Right.
And God is even bigger.
God is talking to us all the time. Sometimes we just don't listen.
We don't pay attention. We need to stop and just pay attention.
Have to listen. I learned to listen to God very early because I had an experience as a young girl where I didn't listen to him. And that shifted me forever. I always thought of that. Anytime I would hear God, it didn't matter who would say, oh, I don't think we should do this. I go back to that moment where I knew God spoke to me regarding an accident. I'm prophetic, so I hear a little bit different.
Of course.
And I was like, I knew I was supposed to say something, but I didn't say anything. Instead, I was afraid and I fell asleep, woke up in the hospital. I will never, ever, ever forget that. And from that day, I made my mind up that if you hear something, I wouldn't care if the president telling you, you better listen. And I said, okay, God, I will never again not listen to your voice when you tell me to do something.
Absolutely. I mean, that is what everybody, we're talking with Della Reese, and did I hear something in my, I don't know whether I heard something or not, but I think we've got a phone call. We're going to go take a break, come back until the caller, please hold on. When we come back, we're going to go straight to the phones because somebody want to talk to you right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I had a lot of family growing up that voting was the key factor to life, to make a change in what you want in your future. I have 4 children and I want to make a difference for them in our future. So we gotta vote. We gotta you gotta have a voice. I'm Samantha Williams and I encourage you to just vote.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services is a one-stop shop because you can come get your windshield replaced, and right behind that replacement at the same appointment, we will calibrate the cameras, and when you leave, everything's ready to go. There's no need to go to the dealership, or there's no need to come back for another appointment. We just take care of it at one time. We put the customer first, and we strive to do everything right the first time.
Lloyd's Glass and Correct Calibration Services, your one-stop shop with same-day service.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
My father told us he paid the cost to be the boss, which meant whatever he told you to do, you better do. So we were told you must vote. He would sit us down at a round table and go over the reasons why you needed to vote, why it was so important, that he fought for us to make sure that we could vote and that we were to fight for ourselves and for his grandchildren. My name is Jill Lewis-Daggs. I am the state committee woman for Okaloosa County, and I'm here to tell you, just vote.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in time. We've got Della Reese in with us today. And thank the caller. We're going to go to the phone because somebody was patiently holding to come on. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. All the way, I'm calling y'all all the way over here in Las Vegas. How are you doing?
Oh, wow. We're doing well.
It's so good to listen to you and Della Reese. Della Reese, congratulations on all of your success. I want to just thank you for being a spiritual leader to everybody, young, old, black, white. You know what? I just love how you're just showing that leadership in a positive manner, and you're just always constantly stretching and going beyond just to make sure that you're representing so other people know the right way to go.
Oh,
and
thank you
it's
so
amazing.
much.
It's great to see you. I'm so happy to see you on this platform.
Thank you. I'm having a blast. I just told her she has to invite me back.
Definitely. So you definitely have to be coming back again.
No doubt about it. And you know what? I see you. Well, look, God, we got a call from Las Vegas, Nevada. Girl,
right?
We're getting there.
I said, oh my goodness,
And
Las
y'all look
Vegas.
so beautiful today on the show. Y'all look beautiful. I love that pink polka dot suit, Sunshine.
I know. I told her I got to borrow it.
Well, thank you, love. We appreciate you checking in. And you know what? This young lady here, she has a lot ahead of her, and I just love her spirit and what she's doing for our community.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely so. And just keep up the great work. You're going to keep inspiring more and more of us to do more and more and continue to better our communities.
No doubt. No doubt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Eric.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right,
Have a
bye-bye.
blessed day.
All right, bye-bye. And everybody, I tell you what, that's what I'm talking about. When we can come together, I mean, you see that, you can see us all over the world.
Wow.
I mean, they called us from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey. We love it so. But you know, Della Reese, it's like, there's another part of you also. I mean, you are a prophet. You're a counselor. Tell about your pageantry. That's the part I've been wanting to get to. When do you plan to run again?
Yes. I actually plan to run again, so I'm very excited about it. I plan to compete at Mrs. Florida America, which would give me the opportunity to compete at Mrs. America and then Mrs. World if I win. So
you shall win.
Well, I receive it.
You're going to win.
Yes, I receive it. So that is... This is a big one. It's in the top 3 of pageants.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. I know it's not going to be easy, but anything great isn't going to be easy.
No, it's not.
So I'm excited about the journey ahead, and I've already begun to prepare myself emotionally, mentally, and physically for this journey. And I'm just grateful in regards to where I know this opportunity will take me as a person.
Isn't that beautiful? But you see, young people, this is what I'm telling you. You can do these things. I mean, come on, Hollywood. I mean, and then the fact of it, what I love about you, that you did not let go of your faith.
Yes.
I mean, in all of these different arenas that God has given you the talent to fulfill, not once did you leave out.
And believe it or not, I could have.
Of
I
course.
got some big offers.
Yes.
Even from Playboy, believe it or not.
Wait, let me sit up.
Yes, ma'am.
You did what?
I was approached by Playboy when I was a little bit younger, and I was like,
Wait
no.
a minute. Did you hear that? When she was a little bit younger. Okay. Playboy.
Well, yes, I was approached by Playboy. And I said, no, this doesn't.
That's
this
not
is
in
alignment
what?
with what I'm doing as a person. They said, well, you're a model. I said, I am a model, yes. But I am also a believer. And I have a standard and this is going to go against who I am as a person.
Oh. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Great. I mean, Hugh Hefner, you would have got that.
Yeah, I would have been balling, but I probably been living in the house.
Come on.
I probably would have been one of the Playboy bunnies. But I said, you know what? You're going to bunny at home.
That's a good one.
Bunny in the house.
You got that right. Oh, wow, that's cute.
Yeah, that was big.
But you know, now some people would not have had the strength, the faith. They would have looked at the notoriety.
Oh, yeah.
And would have just jumped at that opportunity to put that little bunny suit on to be in there with Hugh.
Oh, yes, they would.
You know? Yes, rest well, Hugh, but you had a whole lot of bunnies.
Rest well, but I was like, not this bunny. This bunny is off limits.
Exactly. I mean, but that's a great thing. And you see, I think sometimes when we have to learn to let go and let God. And you are that example. Look at what you've accomplished. Well, look at your twin.
We were approached together. They actually approached both of us together. They wanted us to do something together.
They wanted two bunnies.
They wanted twin bunnies. And we were like, no, thank you. Thank you. We're flattered. But we're going to have to respectfully decline.
Absolutely. That's a good thing. I tell you, Della. I thought that was cute. With this, with your journey and all of this that you've accomplished and that you're yet accomplishing, preparing now to get ready for another walk with a great big sash, and you're gonna win.
I receive it. I receive it.
You know that you're believers, so we have to speak what we want.
We do.
You know, and look at how it all works out. I'm gonna be screaming like, oh, I know her. But that's a good thing, and I want to commend you on that. But with this all you become, what's next for you? What do you, I mean, other than that, what do you see next for you that's even higher than that? What are your hopes in Christ that you can go even further?
My hopes in Christ is that one day I would be able to have a platform big enough to reach not just those locally, but those young women all over the world that are believers, that have goals of being a model, entrepreneurship goals. I would pray to someday have a platform big enough to be seen by people all over the world.
It shall happen. Because
that's my biggest goal. You know, I've received lots of television opportunities, believe it or not, lots, but they have not been the right kind of opportunities, ones that would shift me away from what I'm trying to do. So I know with patience is key, but every year I have a new offer on the table. It hasn't been the one that I needed
you'll
to
know
be,
when you'll know.
Every year, national major network stations have approached me and have given me opportunities to sign deals to be on television shows, you know, reality shows, you name it. I've literally sat with some of the biggest directors. But I know that certain opportunities, they just aren't going to be good for me.
Absolutely.
So I've been patient, and I know that national television is somewhere I'm going. I always have these deals. Like I said last year, I almost signed a deal, and then I didn't like where it was going in the end. And then a few years back, I had another deal, but I didn't like where that was going with the people that I would have been working with.
Absolutely.
And I'm not one that looks down on people. That's certainly not what I'm saying. But certain television opportunities can take you in a different direction if you're not careful. So I said, God, obviously this is something you have for me. So I know you're going to give me the right one because they keep coming.
That's right. He's preparing you.
Believe it or not, when we first got an offer from the Steve Harvey Show, we weren't called to be guests. We were called to be models modeling an outfit. Something happened, it didn't work out, and they said, we love y'all, we're gonna keep your information, but we're gonna take someone who's locally here already, so we don't have to, you know, pay to get people down.
That's
we have some local girls that are gonna do, and we watched the segment and we were heartbroken. We saw the models and we're like, oh my God, we were supposed to be modeling. We were supposed to do what
Didn't
these
know
girls
what
are
you
doing.
were getting prepared for.
A couple weeks later, we got a phone call. Hey, it's blah, 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 blah from the Steve Harvey Show. And I'm like, hello?
Can you hear me now?
Hey, remember? It's such and such. And I'd be like, yes, hi. She's like, we're going to have you guys back. But this time in your own segment. When you trust God, God will give you bigger than you could imagine. We could have forced our way in those doors, but we trust God to a level where we know if God says no to something, it's because he has something bigger,
Amen.
not smaller.
That's
so
right.
we ended up getting to know about that opportunity, then getting 3 segments.
See what
on
I'm
the
talking
Steve
about?
Harvey Show.
Somebody else want to ask you something else. Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Sunshine. This is Tracy. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Tracy.
Good, good. I just wanted to make a comment for you and Della Reese. Thank you for having her on the show this morning. She has such a spirit of authenticity. I love to see women of color that are out there doing things and making boss moves like she's doing.
Yes.
And she's bringing it where she's not compromising her values.
That's right.
She puts God first. And I think that any woman, but definitely women of color, need to see that you don't have to compromise your morals and your values.
That's
All
right.
money isn't good money, and she's made that clear.
Yes.
And she's been very successful. So I just appreciate you having her on this morning, and both of you looking beautiful. She's looking beautiful, and we thank you for being genuine and sharing your word with women, all across America. So we appreciate that.
Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
I
and
mean,
you have
a great day, love. All right. I mean,
thank you. You too.
Della, I tell you, can you believe we've got 2 minutes? Can you believe the time?
I cannot believe
I
how
can't
fast
believe
it's
that the
gone
time
by.
has gone so fast. Now, if a person want to get in touch with you to be a part of your ministry, to be a part of to get some counseling, how can they get in touch with you?
If you would like to get in contact with me for counseling, mentorship, or branding, you can find me at my website at www.delareesetarani.com, or you can follow me on social media at Delareese Tarani on Facebook, on Instagram. It's Miss Diva, the boss.
There you go. And I tell you, thank you, Della. And you know what? I'm going to have you back, okay?
Okay.
I promise you'll be back. Everybody, we've got to get out of here. The time has gone by so quickly today. It has been a fantastic day, but I want to leave you with a positive thought, as I do every single day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember, if you keep God first in whatever you do, I'll guarantee you this, you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow morning for another day of sunshine right here on Sunshine's Corner, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep right on shining while I'm gone. Have a great Monday, and thank you, Della Reese.
Thank you.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.